What's up? This is Boxing Wave. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. So the George Groves Carl Froch rematch is this weekend, right? And every single day that I check any kind of boxing website, there's always a new article where George Groves is claiming that he's going to knock Carl Froch out in 3 rounds, 5 rounds, whatever. I don't believe in the hype. Okay, I think George Groves is just trying to throw Froch off a little bit. You know, all these interviews, I mean, they're really hyping this fight up out there in the UK. Okay, they have all these face-to-face interviews. They're on these TV shows, just like the first fight, you know. Big build-up for this fight, all right? This fight is huge. I mean, the first fight was huge, but this fight is huge. It's big time out there, all right? And I'm very excited for the fight. Just like I said in the prediction video, the first fight was my second favorite fight last year, okay? I'm very excited for the fight myself. But I'm not believing into the hype of George Groves. You know, I think he is just trying to throw Froch off. I believe if George Groves was smart, he will fight this. He will go into this fight with the same game plan that he did against James DeGale. Me personally, I hated that fight. It was a very boring fight. Okay, he was just, you know, I felt Groves was just a little too cautious in that fight. Same thing with James DeGale. I wish he turned up the pressure in that fight. It's a very boring fight to me. Okay, as far as I remember, I haven't seen it in a while, but as far as I remember, I really didn't like the fight. But George Groves fought a very smart fight because of DeGale's power. Okay, he needs to do the same thing in this fight if he wants to win. Okay, I think he could be a little aggressive, but he has to remember that Carl Froch, he's gonna turn it up towards the end of this fight. Okay, he's gonna turn it up for sure. All right, there's plenty of fights where he was losing, he's turned it around. Okay, Carl Froch is known for being very dangerous in the championship rounds. All right, George Groves, not the same thing. Okay, George Groves was actually losing the fight towards the ending of the fight. Okay, the last couple of rounds, I thought George Groves won. He was doing great all the way up to the middle of the fight. Started getting a little too confident, overconfident. He was getting a little sloppy in there. All right, I think he needs to outbox Carl Froch for 12 rounds. That is the only way he's going to win. I already said this in my prediction video. I did a prediction video back in February, but I just want to let you guys know that nothing has changed. You know, I think all these articles of George Groves going in there and knocking him out, I don't believe it. You know, I'm not falling into that trap. I think he's going to play a smart fight. He's just trying to throw off Carl Froch. Carl Froch's game plan is, you know, he's going to want to save up his best ability towards the end of the fight. Okay? I think a lot of the rounds, the earlier rounds, George Groves, in my opinion, might even be the stronger fighter. Okay? He's definitely the more faster fighter. All right? I think he had the better jab as well in the first fight. Okay? Just overall better boxing ability. I think he was, it was a surprise to me how much better he looked against Carl Froch in the earlier rounds. But he got a little too overconfident, like I said. Got too cocky, got really sloppy, started getting hit often. He was getting hurt a lot in there. And it looked like your typical Carl Froch fight. Same thing with Jermaine Taylor years ago. All right. Jermaine Taylor was winning the majority of the earlier rounds. He even dropped, I remember him dropping Carl Froch. He ended up losing in the later rounds, okay? Carl Froch is deadly in the championship rounds. And I think George Groves acknowledges that. I think he's just playing a mind game with Carl Froch, all right? And like I said in the prediction video, I think if George Groves fight a smart fight throughout the whole fight, he should be able to beat Carl Froch. So I am picking George Groves this time around. The first fight, I picked Carl Froch, but I think with a few adjustments, okay, by George Groves. And I do believe that even if he is winning halfway through the fight, he's going to tire out eventually, okay? Is he going to be able to weather the storm from Carl Froch early on? I think so, okay? I'm going for George Groves in the rematch. I picked Carl Froch the first one. I think George Groves is still going to win. Still picking him to win this time, all right? I think he's going to fight a smarter fight, and he's going to win by decision. There's no way he's knocking out Carl Froch. I would be very surprised if he knocked Carl Froch out. But if anyone's going to win, is going to win by decision, I think it would be George Groves. Carl Froch, his best chances is knocking him out midway, all the way to the end of the fight, knocking him out later on, because Carl Froch will come back. But I think George Groves is going to have enough rounds in the bag for them to give him the decision, okay? So that's my thoughts on the fight. Again, it's coming up this weekend. Big fight. And make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter too.